Mixing tones. A tone is a color made more neutral by adding a neutral color such as brown or gray. To get started, you'll need your tones worksheet, or if at home, you may do this in your sketchbook. You'll need a jar of water, black acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, red, yellow, and blue. Some paint brushes, a paint palette, paper towel or old rag. I like to dampen my paintbrush and then wipe it off so that it's not completely dry. First, take a little bit of white and black paint and add it to your paint palette. Then, take a part of each one and mix them together to create gray. Remember, mix them separate from your original splotches of paint. That way you can always go back and add more without tainting the original color. I'm using the back of my paintbrush to help me mix to lighten up this mixture of gray. I want to get a gray that is kind of in the middle between white and black. Once you like your gray, go ahead and add one of the primary colors. I'm choosing to start with red. Take a small amount of the red and place it to the side of your original portion of color. Take a small part of the red and place it aside on your palette. Then take some of your gray and mix it into the red. See what level of color that you get. So what level of tone is this? Is it dark? Is it closer to gray, or is it closer to red? What you'll do is you'll stair step tones from red to gray. So you'll work your way starting with that first one. You'll add a little bit more gray if you need it to look more gray. If you need it to look more red, you'll add a little bit more red. We have a space for gray and we have a space for red on our paper. What we need is 3 individual spaces of stair-stepped tones from gray to red in between them. So what you're doing is no different from the complementary colors and the tints and shades. And so you're just stair-stepping colors, but go ahead and get them mixed before you start painting. I got carried away and mixed 4, but we just need 3. When you're done, wipe off the extra paint in your old rag or paper towel and then rinse off your brush. Make sure to dry off your brush again really well before you paint with it. Now, you'll go ahead and paint the first square that says color with your pure color. So in my case, I'm using red, so pure red goes in that space. When you're done, wipe off any excess paint and then rinse off your brush, dry it off again, and then go to the next space. On your paint palette, you'll pick the color that looks most like your pure color. It won't be as bright. So find that color, and that is what you're going to paint in the space. So in my case, this one looks most like red, but it is more dull than the red that I just painted. So I'm just painting that in the space. When you're done, wipe off your brush again, any excess paint, rinse it off, dry it off, then go to the next tone, the one that looks more like gray than the last tone that you painted. So pick your tone off your paint palette and place it in the space. So this one will look kind of in the middle between your pure color and gray. I mixed more tones than I needed, and I had to go back and adjust my midtone. So what I did is I pulled from another mixture that had more gray and went back over the top. So the beautiful thing with acrylic paint that it dries so fast, I went back over the top and added more gray into my mixture. Then I was able to fix the middle tone. When you're done, you'll wipe off excess paint off your paintbrush, rinse it out, dry it off, and then go on to the next tone. This is the one that looks most like gray. You may find that you need to adjust your colors, and it's really easy to do that by adding more or less gray or pure color. In this case, I had to add more because what I did, I adjusted my middle tone, so now I have to adjust the one on the end, adding more gray to it, and then I'm painting it in the space. Make sure before you move on to that last space of gray that you wipe off your brush, rinse it off, dry it off, and then paint in that last space. That way your space is pure gray and does not have any of the other color mixed in. If you have to mix more gray, that's okay. Remember, it's just black and white added. You can use the gray on your paint palette as a gauge on how dark or light to create your gray, and then continue painting in the space. Now that you're done, it's time to clean off your palette. Make sure to save any white or black paint that you have already on your palette so you don't waste paint, and then add in your next primary color that you want to use, whether it be blue, yellow, or red. So in the end, you'll have at least 3 colors that you've used that are primaries, and then you'll use one color that you have mixed as a secondary color. So in that case, it might be orange, green, or purple.